Some people just don't get you. They never will. And some just never have intentions on understanding what's going on with you. So how is life treating you? Hey guys, welcome to Lovely J Podcast. This is Coco. Today we're going to be fixing a high protein meal. This is my first meal of the day because I just now came out the room. I was tired, y'all. You cannot tell me being, I know sometimes people think that if you're a stay-at-home mom or stay-at-home grandma, that, you should not get tired of anything. But physically wise, it can be, those times when you don't get enough rest in. And so I got my rest in today on Saturday. It's Saturday. I got my rest in real good. I'm refreshed now. I'm up. And I want me a good high protein meal to eat. And it's going to be a chicken omelet. Oh, you know what? I just thought about something. And I already got peppers that's already pre-cut from the frozen section. I'm going to go get some of those going to my omelet. I got some cheese. And I got a can of this Great Value chicken breast. And this little small can I got, and this is why I like it. It's one serving. One serving. This 5-ounce undrained is one serving. And it's 100 calories. That's a lot of chicken meat to me. Let's see. It's 22 grams of protein. And my nutritionist at the time put me on to this. I need to go back and see her. Y'all keep me minded. Keep me minded to make my appointment with the nutritionist again. Because now I see the things she was talking about. Let me get these peppers. Yeah, it's important that you take time to look at how your life is going. Not how you expect people to think it's going, but how do you think your life is going? Okay, let me get to mixing this omelet. I'm only going to eat one egg. Since I plan on doing some more of them saucy eggs. Did y'all try that sauce out on them eggs that I made last night? Look, the recipe is only on this podcast. It's the episode before this one. And if you ain't tried that out, I might do 2 eggs. If you ain't tried that out, I don't know what to tell you. Because last night, it had me licking my fingers. And that's something I do not condone at all, licking your fingers. And I tell my grandchildren all the time, why are you licking your fingers? But that sauce was so good, I was licking my fingers. The only thing that I did not like about it is that I did not put enough crushed red peppers. And I should have added that Cajun that Cajun spice in there. But I didn't want to have it overpowering. And then, have it so hot and spicy that I can't really taste the egg like that. Yep. But it was so good. I think what I'm going to do with this, too, is just to make sure... Well, I'm going to leave it in there this time. But I'm going to start eating a lot of egg whites. I wish people quit giving me these small eggs. I'm going to start eating a lot of egg whites. Instead of the eggs with the yolk, try to keep it mixed up. Egg white omelet is good too. You can't, only difference is it's not a yellow egg. But it is really good. Let me add me some spice up in this omelet. I think I want some of this here. Give me some pepper in here. What else? What else? Look, garlic powder ain't gonna hurt nobody. And onion powder. I'm going to add my chili powder after it cooks. It's 2 o'clock in the afternoon, but look, it's a Saturday. It's my life. My body know what it needs. If it needs sleep, it needs sleep. Y'all better start paying attention to your body. Now, do I want to add these peppers into this? Oh, wait. Choices. Life is all about choices. On a serious note, though, so many of us just went through so much after this pandemic. And I keep saying after the pandemic. I talk about that a lot because a lot of us did not even know we needed to change until this pandemic thing hit. And I don't know about y'all, but for me, it still feels kind of like we're sitting in the midst of it a little bit. Even though there's a lot more freedom, I still feel the effects of that pandemic. I'm not going to add that in there. I'm not even going to add no cheese. I still feel that effect. The isolation mode is hard to come out of. Because once you figure out there's so much to do while you're in isolation, and there's so much that need to be done, but nothing ever gets done because the majority of the time of isolation is built around trying to fix your mind. And if your mind keeps running in circles, nothing gets done. And that right there, my friend, is where we need to break that circle. We need to break that cycle of mind just running on the thought of what needs to be done without doing anything. I have another podcast on here called Hello Life. If you haven't listened to it, it's okay if you go listen to it, because it may be the very podcast to help you get back to doing things. Because for me, I had stopped doing things myself. I'm wondering, do I need something else with this omelet? Oh, no, because I'm going to do a piece of toast. Oh, I know what it was. I was supposed to be putting the chicken in here. Again, this is the canned chicken. Be careful with those lids whenever you open it. I'm pouring that water off. Don't need it. I'm going to pour this chicken right on into this oil first. And then I'm going to pour my egg over it. I'm cooking this omelet different this time. I ain't even mixing everything together like I usually do. Glad to have this pepper and onion mix though. There we go. Put a few of them in there. This may be what I do from now on. Just go ahead and buy the bag of frozen veggies like this, because it's so convenient. Never realized how convenient it was until now. Oh, I hear thunder. Oh my goodness, is a cloud supposed to come today? I got stuck in that isolation mode because I was here, I was present, but I was frozen. I didn't really do anything. But in May, I started talking back on my podcast, Hello Life, and it was about cleaning up and getting things done that I hadn't done in a long time that need to be done. And that podcast really helped me to see that why cleaning up is so important and it's necessary for our mind, our body, the way we live, the way we talk, the way we present ourselves. I think it's very important. And when you're in a state of isolation and sometimes borderline depression, it's hard to clean up when you're like that. Now, I haven't been depressed. I can't say that. But I was stuck on just getting up, doing my own thing. I don't think it was depression. I think I just got comfortable with doing nothing. I went from being, I just went to being lazy. Just, didn't care to do anything. Messing around on these phones. Y'all, these phones and tablets and things are so addicting. And that's why I didn't do nothing. Because I was staying on Facebook, staying on TikTok, and just really didn't have a belief or care that I needed to do much. So that's why that was. It wasn't because of a depression or anything. But I admit to that. Now, that was being lazy. Just got comfortable with my routine of doing nothing. Oops. Which reminds me, I'm supposed to be... While that's cooking, I need to be putting this little piece of bread on. Now, I know this is going to be hard for me. Just toasting one piece of bread. I'm used to toasting 2 pieces of bread. But the way that shot is set up, if I do toast 2 pieces of bread, one will have to be for now and one will be for later. Yeah, I can do that. Yeah, let me do that. One for now and one for about in 2 hours. I'm supposed to have 6 small meals, I think she said. 6 small meals. So that I'm not overeating with my stomach. And they mean that thing, because if you overeat, you'll feel sick. Uh-oh. A lot of popping going on here. So I'm just going to lightly toast these. But yeah, we can easily get stuck into isolation. And that isolation can turn to depression if you don't know what to do with that time that you have to yourself. I can talk about it because I'm talking about me. I don't know about any of you, but I did go into isolation. And isolation felt like the safest place for me physically and mentally. It was a safe place for me, so I stayed there. In a sense, I was like, if it ain't broke, don't fix it. If you stay there too long, though, it's going to break. I know my pan did not just cut off on me. Back in May, I started getting up, doing small things at a time. I had kind of, my mind was like somebody with ADHD. I don't have that. But the cleaning process for me was so hard like that. So I had to watch and learn a lot of videos. Because my mind, one part of me knew I needed to clean up and wanted to get up and clean up. But the other part, it was just painful. If you live life with chronic pain, the slightest movement sometimes can trigger an effect that can have you down for months. If you got the spondylosis or the mephalonis in the back, the osteoarthritis, what else? What else is there? With me, I have the lung issues and the what else? I can't even call it. It's so many things that my body has been going through in these last few years that, I just have to believe one thing, that I am healed, that I am well, and make myself get up and do even when I feel tired. Because with some of the lung disease, I don't talk about the family and friends, but it was at one point where my lungs felt so weak, I couldn't get out of bed like I wanted to. because it was hard to breathe. It was hard to get enough oxygen to pull my sides around. And it was just better for me to just lay in the bed at that point. And that's what I did. Now, at some point, though, I did start feeling a little better, and I started getting back up, stirring around. And I do believe having healthy friendships is a great way to heal. When you have a healthy friendship with somebody, listen, if you got good friends out here, treat them right. Because you need that. That is a part of life that I don't see how anybody can go without. I tried it. I tried to go without, saying I need friends or being around people. And I was one of them people who said I am my best company. But the truth is, we need people in our life. We need fellowship. I had to get out of my prideful fear zone. And I had to get where I said, okay, Lord, I'm trusting you. I'm going to go back out here again. And I'm just going to let whoever wants to be friends with me, whoever wants to treat me right, better yet, whoever just crosses in my path, I'm going to do my best to treat them right. Whether they treat me right or not, I'm going to do my best to treat them right. Because we need that interaction. And sometimes it's not always good, but it's not always bad either. So one of the things my nutritionist said was no matter how fearful you get, you got to keep exposing yourself to outdoor sides of you, outdoor limits. You can't stay in this shell forever. You have to get out and expose yourself to life. Life will not come to you sitting in the bed. You have to get outside of your house. That's kind of like a church where the only place they, preach the gospel is in the church, and they don't never go outside the walls to tell people about who God is. That's what it reminds me of. If you don't ever go outside them walls, if they don't come to church, they're not going to know who God is. So it's up to us who do know who God is to present it to everyone that we come in contact with, that we get out here and tell people about this good news, about this way maker, about this problem solver. We need to tell who that is. But if we're just sitting inside of the four walls of the church comfortable, that's not getting out. The message is not getting out. And clearly we have not understood the message if that's the only place we think that God lives. Ooh, that's hard, ain't it? But yeah, so it took me a year and some to get to where I'm at now mentally thinking. Because so many people were doing me bad, and I had to just say, well, you know what? If it's everybody, then what part in this am I doing? I had to look back at me. And the part that I was doing was I was allowing certain ones, because not everybody was treating me bad. But then I would turn around and snap at them because I'm in high off in anxiety because of what the bad ones is doing. So I had to learn how to, and I'm still working on that. I'm not saying we're perfect in anything, because it all takes time, and it takes love and grace. It takes God to, having faith in God to move these mountains. It takes that. It takes all of that. But I thought that if I start with what I am around first, which is my environment, cleaning up my environment and going from there. And turns out it was right. God was right. I started cleaning up on the inside of me. Started studying the word more about how to get these impurities out of me. Because sometimes we can pick up other people's bad spirits. I did read a lot about my condition and things that were going on with other people, and so some of that stuff kind of stuck in me too. I had to get that up out of me because that's not who I was. That's what they went through. So let me make this clear. Hear me clear. Do not take on other people's spirits. What they go through is what they go through. Do not let projection sit down on you, because it's so easy to, for people like me, I could be sitting here just having a conversation with you, and you may think that I'm actually talking directly onto you, or putting my propaganda out there. If it's something you don't agree with it, hold to your faith that says, I don't agree with her, or she may be going through an issue. Don't just, take my word for it, but the Bible says try the spirit by the spirit. And that's what you got to do too. And that's what I had to start doing, because not everybody was treating me bad, but the many that were treating me bad had me trying to lash out on innocent people who were like, I don't know what's going on. I didn't do anything. This is all I did. So don't let that projection look like it's God's rejection, because it's not. What you got to do is discern what a person is saying. And what I'm saying in this hour is that if you want life to get better, you can't just keep sitting there reading about how it's going to get better or talking about how it's going to get better. But you got to get off your badonkadonk and make it better even when it's bad. And that's not easy. But I had to start off with cleaning my house up first, y'all. That's the air going on and off. I always tell y'all that. But for those who don't know. But I had to make up in my mind that I do like life, regardless. Even when people are treating me bad, I do like life. There are things I like to do. So I had to get up and expose myself more and more to the good things rather than blowing up these bad things. I'm trying to expose myself to this pan. Y'all, the skillet is not came back on. Like, why is it not coming back on yet? But expose yourself to more good things and see how your body starts responding to it. Because the more I kept getting up, cleaning my house, I started breaking down sweats. And now I started using muscles and fingership. I don't know if that's a word, but fingership. And just the more I started doing, instead of complaining about it, the better off things started getting. The better things started getting, and I started seeing people differently. I started seeing even those who were treating me wrong. I was like, okay, I see this, because they're going through so much already themselves, You can look at people and tell when they're going through things. Pretty people, those that you see them always smiling and helpful to others. But you don't see when they go home to themselves at night, how they beat up on themselves, how they allow others throughout the day to beat up on them. That's why I titled this, how's life treating you? I don't think that's what I titled it, but that's what I felt like saying. Is how is life treating you? How are you contributing to having a better life? How are you making things better for yourself? Because I guarantee you, the devil don't want none of us to even speak out against, bad things anyway. Because he feels like he need a free ride. But we can't keep letting him get free rides. Look, today is a beautiful day. Go take a ride somewhere. Go do something for you. What I'm doing for me today is cleaning up. And a woman told me, well, she didn't say it directly to me, but, I was watching her thing. No, actually, I'm wrong. It wasn't a woman. It was Meta AI. The messenger service told me cleaning up is a form of self-love. And that hit home for me, because A lot of us who come from the country, sometimes we don't realize that. We just not starting to get all this self-love thing going on, and how to take care of our mental. Because back in our days, our parents, we ain't never heard no parents talk about mental health or nothing like that. Never. I never knew my daddy had PTSD. Didn't know he had PTSD until he died. Did not know that. Never knew the reason why he was, the way he was, because he had PTSD. Now, he didn't hurt nobody, but he stayed laughing all the time and joking all the time. But some of his jokes and laughter was dark. It was dark. Sometimes you would think it was a joke, and it really might mean that I don't like you. Or I don't like the way you're dressing around me. I don't like the way you're acting. So that dark humor is the first thing we need to deal with sometimes, is our dark humor. Okay, y'all. But listen, I've enjoyed talking to y'all this little few minutes. What I really want, do I need to get off of here, or I seriously got to get the other phone up and working, because I want to show y'all how beautiful this egg omelet is. I want to leave it flat just like it is too. You know what? I'm going to leave it. No, I'm not going to get off of here with y'all. I'm going to keep talking to y'all, because I hate to open that door and then shut it before I actually close with the point. The point is, my daddy, now I get the jokes. Now I understand why he would grab people's beard and hit them. And we just sit around and laugh about it, not realizing, hey, he just hurt another man. Even though he was a good man, that's why we couldn't recognize, some of the things that we were doing wrong. Because, if you see your parents doing it, then you feel like it's right. But now that I'm older and I had to look, I'm a daddy's girl, by the way. Don't you talk about my daddy now. I can talk about my dad and my mama, but y'all can't. I'm a daddy's girl. And the one thing that I learned from my daddy was to laugh a lot and have these jokes. But I had no idea the reason why he was laughing so hard was because he was hiding so much pain. And that he was hiding so much insecurities inside of him. And that's the first time I've talked about my daddy's insecurities. But my dad, now that I know what all this is, I can say that my dad did have some insecurities. One being financially, and because he just stayed working, always just trying to make a way. He never wanted to be without. So that's financial insecurity, when you get fearful that you're going to end up not having, and then you start overcompensating people and things. And it just passes on when we don't know any better, because my brother would later grow up to do these dark jokes the same way. These dark pranks, they're dark. Where you pull a chair from underneath somebody, an old man, and he's going to fall and get hurt, and if he breaks a bone or a hip, or it would land him in the hospital. It'll take him longer to heal than a young man. But it was dark things like that. But it's normal. That's why he didn't see nothing wrong with it, because that's what we were normal and used to. And those are some of the things that I was, as I was cleaning out my house, every time I threw trash away, and this is how good throwing trash away is for you. Every time I cleaned off a counter, every time, and it's going to come back. It's going to keep coming back, so you got to keep throwing it away. But every time I cleaned off something and I saw the beauty in it, it was amazing. And in those moments, I realized that, hey, girl, we can't change our past or anything, but we could try to do better for us and by others right now. And so cleaning up helped me to get back on track this time. That's what has helped me. And getting up, moving around. I'm back working out now. So how's life treating me now? Life is okay now. I don't feel like I'm in a crisis mode. I don't feel like I'm depressed or anxious about anything. I feel like I want to explore. You know, I'm thinking today, I had one thought on my mind, but then my mama called me, my mama Gloria. She called me and she was like, oh, you know how normal that sounds to say that now? Mama Gloria. It sounds real normal now. Before it was so far-fetched and uncomfortable to say, but it's okay now. Because I've made peace with all that. And it, like I said, it takes time. But I've made peace with all that. But she called me and she was like, girl, you want to go out to eat? I said, I do, but I got some things I need to do today. And I do. I got some, y'all look, I can't let this house go another day. I really need to clean it up. And I said, if Lord willing, I'll pick you up, take you out to church, and then we can go out to eat tomorrow. And she looking forward to that now. One thing about it, she started looking forward to something. She looking forward to it. So that's what I'm going to do. I'm going to take her out with me tomorrow and have a good time. Go do some church and then, you know, I don't know where she want to eat at, but I'm pretty sure she'll let me know. Because one thing about Mama Gloria, she love to eat. She love that. Alright, y'all. Peace, love, and happiness. I hope to have a video up of this chicken omelet pretty soon. Share with y'all some some of the foods that I'm eating now to aid me in my weight loss. I don't know if I've lost weight, but I feel my body tightening up. And like my core, it's my core I'm starting to feel, you know, getting that strength in that core. I'm starting to feel that coming back, and that's a good thing because that's helping me carry my body. I had a therapist once tell me that, you know, if your core is weak, you can't carry yourself. You can't carry the weight. I was like, what? This was years ago, by the way. First time I ever had therapy on my back, about 20-some years ago. She said, if your core is weak, you cannot carry the rest of your body. What am I getting at? That's the same thing with our life. If you do not carry that belt of truth around you, whether it's pretty truth or ugly truth, because we got some bone, dry, ugly truth in our closets that we living with now, that we're constantly creating day by day. Just like I said, isolation turned to depression, and then some days when I wasn't depressed, isolation was my excuse to not do nothing at all. When we start addressing those ugly truths and glorifying the good things over these bad things, man, do you know what the posture's going to be like? Upright. We are able to carry what we're going through in life when we address things and look for the truth in them. Find that truth in it. So that belt of truth comes from that full armor of God. And if you don't have the belt of truth, it knocks down everything else. Everything else that's in the armor cannot stand without the belt of truth. You can have the breastplate. You can't have the breastplate of righteousness and not be a truthful person. You can't have the helmet of salvation and you're out here gossiping and slandering on other people. You know, so all of that goes together. And I made up in my mind, for God I live and for God I will die. Because He has done so much in my life right now. I got so many people that be laughing and picking at me about my faith. And they even, you know, try to mock me about how I pray. And, you know, a lot of mocking and things. But you know what? You got to let the mockers mock. Let the assumers assume. Let the talkers talk. and let there be light. Because anytime you come up against a child of God, and I will not stop saying it, when you come up against a child of God and that child recognizes who they are, oh, you got a piece of work on your hands. Because every time we get knocked down, because we're going to get knocked down. Because one thing about it, we can't always, we prophesy in part, so we don't always know everything that's going to go on. But when we get knocked down, we do know, and this is for all teachers out there, we do know that we are supposed to what? Get back up. Even if we don't know how we're going to get back up, we need to start climbing our way through the trenches. We need to start grabbing hold of ropes or whatever to pull ourselves up. We have the knowledge of that because God loves us, we can get back up even when things still look bad. We can still smile and laugh even when we done lost a majority of things in our life, a majority of people in our life. We can still rise because we belong to God. Now, if you don't belong to God, you don't know anything about getting back up. You just know about getting revenge and retaliating. That's where retaliation comes from. People who don't know God, they want to get back at people who they think done them wrong. They want to get back at people who they want to control but don't have control of. And so when people can't control you, what do? They control and spin the narrative of negative things on your name. And you have to still get back up from that, because that's a form of murder right there. When you speak on a person's character, when you slander somebody, yeah. So I'm going to leave y'all with this. Then I'm going to get back cooking. Remember, the power of life and death is in your tongue. Don't you dare speak negative about yourself, about your situation. Look, if you got so many bad situations going on in your life, look around at what's really going on in this world to some of the other people, and then look inward and find the opportunity in the situation that you're in. I don't like the situation I'm in right now, but I do find the opportunity in it, because now that I know who's on the devil's side, I can offer them God. Come on. Once you know who's up against you, you can offer them God. You can tell them about God. You can, give them a Bible. You can give them a smile, because it might be the only smile they've seen all day. Even if you ain't got all your teeth, you might make them giggle a little bit if you just got 2 bottom teeth. Can I get 2 bottom teeth people to start smiling back at people so that somebody can laugh and you still feel secure about yourself? Come on, y'all. I ain't lying and I ain't playing, because I got only a few teeth myself, but I'm serious about that. Y'all want to put this cheese onto this omelet, and then I'm going to get off of here with y'all, because I want y'all to see how pretty this is. And by the way, the skillet, I cut it off so I could stop the cooking process so that I can finish talking to y'all, but now I'm finna cut it back on. So peace, love, and happiness. Y'all go have a great Saturday.